Hello, once again, welcome to the fourth branch program, the place for common sense. Today is Monday, June 10th, 2019. This is segment 2, and I am MD. We will be talking about a very important topic, which is mass shooting in America. But as usual, the purpose of the conversation here on the fourth branch is to look at any topic of discussion through the prism of common sense. In other words, we do not just mention the topic, we do not just discuss it, we do not just provide information about the stats, but we also look and explore for ways to solve the problem. In this case, to end mass shooting in America. Noble cause, but sounds almost impossible. Or is it? This is where we will begin our conversation after we take a quick look at a few items that are making news today. You might want to know. We'll come back to talk about those few items before we talk at length about mass shooting in America. Live from New York City at the top of the hour, every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Fourth Branch presents discussions, debates, commentaries on social, political issues, current events, sports, entertainment, religion, education, science, and every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. for a full presentation on controversial issues such as abortion, homosexuality, war on blacks. Are Republicans dumber than Democrats? Information which might irritate you, make you cry, make you laugh, but above all, will make you smarter. Join us every time. It is the right thing to do. It is the only way to keep your sanity in a world of chaos, hypocrisy, immorality, and deception. Welcome to Common Sense. A freak accident happened in Florida. Well, a 45-year-old man was struck by lightning, and unfortunately, he was riding a motorcycle on Interstate 95. That happened in East Central Florida. That's in Volusia County. That was yesterday, and according to the report by police, the lightning hit his helmet, causing him to veer off the roadway and crash. Unfortunately, he did not survive. According to stats, at least 10 people, 9 out of 10 people are struck by lightning, according to a 2016 study. But the study also noted that those people usually survive, but unfortunately for that individual, he did not. On another note, we have what you're looking at, 2 women, and those 2 women are among the what you would call the unfortunate individual who have traveled miles to come to the United States and met with their death. A 54-year-old immigrant from Mexico died in custody of ICE. She was placed in a solitary cell, according to the report, and she had a high fever and wasn't paid attention to until she lost her life. Now that happened in April. In May of 20, in May rather, a 20-year-old woman, rather a 20-year-old man from India hung himself in an Arizona jail. On June, a 25-year-old asylum seeker by the name of Johanna Medina Leon died in a Texas hospital after 6 weeks in custody by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. In total, that so far, since the Trump administration has been cracking down on immigrants, 24 people have died in custody of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Some have under really very suspicious circumstances. And what makes the matter even more difficult to understand is the fact that the government has been very tightly providing information about those immigrants. On another note, we have a note from Washington. Is the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. Today is the day during in which that the House was going to hold a meeting to vote, rather, to hold William Barr, who is supposed to be the Attorney General for the United States, but has, up to this point, made himself the personal attorney of the president, has been holding information from Congress, information that is part of the Mueller report, and for a reason that are still unknown, William Barr has been preventing the House Judiciary Committee of exercising the oversight that is duly required by the Constitution of the United States. Again, as I mentioned, William Barr has been playing the personal attorney of Donald Trump, making it such that as if we're living in an authoritarian regime, refusing to comply with Congress. Now, William Barr, which I'll show you in very shortly, during his confirmation hearing, he was very adamant, trying to reassure the legislative body that in his post as Attorney General, his job is to be as transparent as possible, and in regards to the Mueller investigation, to make certain that as much information as possible is provided to the public, and as far as the legislative body to have access to those information. That was just for his confirmation, so he was saying the right thing so that it could be confirmed without a problem. But since William Barr has assumed the post of Attorney General, he's been nothing but Donald Trump personal attorney. Now, here's a clip of William Barr during confirmation hearing for him to secure the confirmation.
Second, I also believe it is very important that the public and Congress be informed of the results of the special counsel's work. My goal will be to provide as much transparency as I can, consistent with the law.
Yes, that was William Barr reassuring the legislative body, who members of which were going to vote on his confirmation or not. He was trying to provide them with exactly what they expected to hear, and as soon as he was confirmed, he showed that he met not a single word of those, because so far the legislative body, now in the hand of Congress, in the hand of the Democrat, has been fighting to get those information from William Barr. In fact, it's not until he was threatened of a subpoena, he was threatened of being held in contempt, although he was already threatened with a subpoena, he still didn't budge. But when threatened with being held in contempt, according to the news by Jerry Nadler today, that the Department of Justice has decided to cooperate with the legislative body. And of course, Jerry Nadler keep his option open just in case that William Barr does not operate in good faith. We'll come back to talk about mass shooting in America. If you were to know if you were to be provided proof that every time our children are murdered in mass shooting, our children, young generation, or anybody for that matter, murdered in mass shooting, would it make a difference to you? In other words, would it matter? I ask the question is because whether it's here in the United States or anywhere in the world, it seems that the notion of money is understood no matter which language you speak. In fact, if you in anything in life, if you want to correct the situation, if you attach some sort of monetary aspect to the issue, to the argument, that will catch individual attention. I'll give you a quick example. A lot of things that we do in life, we are incentivized by money, with money. You don't leave your house and go to work just out of the goodness of your heart. Or would you? Of course not. You go out, leave your bed, sometimes you don't feel like leaving. Either you're tired, you don't feel too well, you feel you need more rest, and yet it may be cold outside, it may be raining, it may be snowing, it may be hot, it just doesn't matter. You get up and you go to work because you have the incentive that at the end of the day you're getting paid for it. Now if you pause for a moment and say, okay, what if you weren't getting paid? Would you still do that? Of course, we have a few people who do voluntary work, but they're not obligated every day to get up at 8 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, at 6 o'clock in the morning and do the same thing over and over, day in, day out, and don't expect anything out of it. Now, even if you do not expect any monetary rewards, and which means you don't have any monetary incentive. Sometimes it's a different incentive, an incentive of sort that say you feel good about yourself, for instance. Well, yeah, it's not money, but in general, the idea of doing all that, that's tiring, that sometimes you don't even want to do it, and yet you do it because, well, you get paid for it. That's why I asked the question, if you know that someone is making money every time our children, every time we are assaulted, murdered in mass shooting, would that have made a difference? You see, since 1999, mass shootings didn't start in 1999, by the way. When we started talking about this very topic, we went as far back as really after the period of slavery here in the United States, and we start looking at how those type of tragedies happen. But we started in modern time for the past 20 years. The first one was 1999, Columbine, I believe, happened in April, maybe April, sometime mid-April of 1999. I think it was either 2 or 3 high school students armed to the teeth, machine gun, ambush a group of students in a cafeteria, and mass shooting in America. Modern time, live reaction, mourning, grieving, just shock. It was a massacre. Fast forward to 2019. It's as if nothing has changed. We still have mass shooting in America. Just recently in Virginia, I believe it was Virginia Beach, when someone decided to go around and kill people. I believe 12 people. That was mass shooting at a workplace. 12 people lost their lives. So we pause for a moment and we say, okay, we are supposed to be intelligent beings. We are, as far as we know, I'm certain that there may be other beings in this huge universe that may be smarter than us, or but at the very least have better common sense than we do. Because so far it has to boggle the mind as to how in the world that it's not something that happened occasionally, it's something that's been ongoing in America for 2 decades now. If you take a look at what on your screen, it should start becoming a little bit obvious This was provided by Mother Jones. It's a publication that's been keeping track of mass shooting in America. I believe they start putting in their database information about mass shooting since 1982. If you look at the column of death, for instance, and you start getting a sense as to what has been going on in America. 2017, 58 death plus the person who committed the crime. 2016, 49 plus 1, the person who committed the crime. And you go down the list. Now those are dead. Now if you look at the injured, then you start getting a sense that we're not talking about just people being massacred, but people whose lives also are being altered by mass shooting. Why? Now we can blame the perpetrators, of course, bear the grunt of the blame because it's an individual who decided, for whatever reason, to engage in killing people. Yes, we can blame that individual. But the question is, how is that possible? We in a society, we're not in a lawless society. But every so often, we have to deal with mass shooting, mass casualties. Ask yourself the question, because in everything in life, someone always profits from it. Always. I saw this show called Numbers. And the premise of the show is that everything is number. If you want to solve anything, any problem, any situation, and if you can convert that in number, then you will solve that problem. In other words, an understanding of numbers will give us an edge over finding a solution for this problem. Because we're living in a smart society. We have the best universities in the world. We have stat. I just showed you a clip of data collected by a news publication, Mother Jones, that gives us a snapshot of murder, mass murder in the United States starting since 1982. So we have the information, we have the data, casualties, and yet in 2019 we're still talking about mass shooting. So question, who is profiting of it? If you translate what's been going on in the mass shooting tragedies to numbers, then we can find a solution for it. In March of 2019, in New Zealand, a gunman armed with machine gun streaming live on Facebook, murdering people by just shooting indiscriminately at crowds. A month later, not even a full 30 days, 1 month later, New Zealand banned all assault weapons. That particular tragedy I just mentioned to you, 50 people lost their lives and a number of other people were injured. But the New Zealand government values human lives more than they value money. Numbers, remember? So they value human lives more than they value money, so it did not take them years, it took them less than a month, less than 30 days to ban assault rifle, automatic gun, semi-automatic machine gun from civilian. Just 1 month. So the question is, who is profiting of the death of our children? Because that's really all it boils down to. You can listen to all kind of rational people give you in order to continue to harm our society, in order to continue to enrich themselves, because that's really what all those rationale is about. It's not about anything other than that. Because if you think about it from a logical perspective, it doesn't take a college degree for you to understand that if something is causing harm, then you remove the tool that's causing harm and you will solve at least part of the problem. You cannot solve human problem because evil people are always going to be evil. There are some people who seem to have a knack for being evil. But the machine gun, the assault rifle, the semi-automatic machine gun that they have access to provide the tool to do this type of mass shooting on a regular basis. The question is, why? Because you don't need a master's degree for you to understand no individual civilian needs a machine gun, no civilian needs a semi-automatic machine gun, no individual needs an assault rifle. So the question is, why is it that we continue to talk about those type of casualties when it would be very easy to put an end to it? It's because obviously someone profiting from the death of our children. Who is that person? Always remember, people tell you anything until they too get affected by it. They okay killing your children because it's not theirs. It's your children because it's going to happen in your school. Not theirs, because they already took care of that aspect of their problem. So So they consciously made the decision to profit from the death of our children, all the while knowing that their children need protection so that those things don't happen to them. So they deliberately, those individuals profiting from our children, from the lives of our children, cutting their lives short. That's the business they're in. Because let's not lose sight of the issue. Automatic machine gun, semi-automatic machine gun, assault rifle, no civilian needs that for self-defense. No civilian. This is the United States of America. We're not talking about a country where there is war. We're not talking about a third world country where you expect to have to shoot your way out of situation. We're talking about the United States of America. So there is no rationale. None of those individuals can bring to the conversation to convince you that it is okay for a civilian to own automatic, semi-automatic, or assault rifle. There is absolutely none. But they want you to think it's okay because if it doesn't happen, someone is violating their constitutional rights. That's how the whole story has been framed, to continue to murder our children, to continue to murder our young generation, is because someone profiting of selling those machine guns, those semi-automatic machine guns, those assault rifle, as such they say, why not? It's not our children. So why not let those young generation lose their lives? That's why you see a Republican in particular profiting, benefiting from gun industry, paying for the campaign. They always the first to come and to express their thought and prayers for the victim. But as far as what else, as far as they're concerned, that's it. That's all they can offer. Our thought and prayers are with the families of the victim. Really? Your thought and prayers? In New Zealand, in March 19, I believe, a gunman armed with an automatic or semi-automatic machine gun killed 50 people and injured scores of others. 1 month later, the government in New Zealand rather, banned all sort of assault rifle, automatic and semi-automatic machine gun. Just 1 month. Now there are two aspects of the issue here. One, our government doesn't value our lives, obviously, because it doesn't matter whether our children, our young generation are being massacred. That's one. And second, they see protecting the manufacturer industry as being their priority instead of protecting us, because the manufacturer industry, the gun industry, will give them money so that they can be reelected, so they don't care about our lives. But the reason we cannot get to a solution is not just because of what I just mentioned, because those people, we already know they're crook and scoundrel. They don't have our safety. They don't care about our safety. Now they can say all they want, but their actions say they do not care about the safety of our young generation. What they care about is making as much money as possible, even if that costs the lives of our young children. And in fact, despite the fact that has been costing the lives of our young children, because they're fine with that. But what makes the issue all the more troubling is the fact that we have legislators, and that's what happened in New Zealand. The minute the massacre happened, the government say, that's it. Here in America, they have all those gun lobbies telling the Republican, it's mostly Republican by the way. There are a few Democrats who are gun owners, but the argument in Washington against banning assault weapon, against banning automatic rifle, assault rifle, semi-automatic machine gun, the lobbyist has been paying the Republican legislators to prevent any legislation from doing that. So killing our children is fine by the gun manufacturer. But what's even more troubling is the fact that your Republican legislators are also fine with that. Now they can tell you all their stories about protecting your Second Amendment right. We have the right to bear arms. They come with all kind of rationale in order for you to think demanding that they ban assault weapon, all of a sudden you feel guilty about it. That guy, Wayne LaPierre, has made a fortune killing your children. I believe he's no longer the NRA CEO. Somebody else is. I think he was that fool from the used to be the individual in the Iran Contra affair scandal. His name has escaped me now. Alivanov. I believe that's the guy that's now the CEO or the chairman of NRA. That guy, Wayne LaPierre, has made a fortune out of killing our young children. He has a way with words. He can sell you the moon for not going against banning assault rifle or automatic or semi-automatic weapon. You see, mass shooting doesn't just happen in school. As I'm sure you probably already know, a lot of mass shooting happen in school, obviously, but it doesn't just happen in school. Wayne LaPierre is living a plushy life, defending the gun manufacturers, promoting sales of assault weapons, all the while sneering at those who have fallen victim of mass shooting. He has been very good at doing it. In fact, I would venture to say that most Republicans in Washington, congressmen and senators, are in the pocket of gun manufacturer, NRA. In fact, according to the Mueller report, in 2016, Russia used NRA to funnel $30 million to the Trump campaign. So they're not just destroying the life of our children, they're also helping to destroy our democracy, to destroy our way of life, our constitution. So they're involved in the destruction of our nation. And that guy you're looking at is making a fortune doing that. So, from what you just heard, can you already see where we're going as to why we believe solving the problem of mass shooting in America is not that difficult? Next time we will take a look at what we as a people, we as a society, we can do in order to make certain that people like Wayne LaPierre does not dictate what we as a people want our legislators to do. Because failure to act is a guarantee that you or your child or your children could be the victim of the next mass shooting. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when another mass shooting happens. Although what I'm about to say may be, however it may be construed, it would be nice to see for a change that those individuals, such as Wayne LaPierre and all those Republican legislators who are protecting the gun manufacturer, could, for a change, be the subject of mass shooting, the victim of mass shooting. Maybe, and I'm not talking about just one of them, maybe a group of them involved become fallen victim of mass shooting. Maybe, just maybe, they will understand that killing our children is not okay. They probably would get a taste of their own medicine and do something about it. Because up to today, they all see only one thing: profiting from our children's death. And that is not acceptable in any society. was an update through the prism of common sense. Join us again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. for a full presentation. I am MD, host of the Fourth Branch program, The Place for Common Sense. Send us comments, criticism, suggestion, or simply let us know how we're doing. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. See you next time. The Fourth Branch podcast is brought to you in collaboration with the People Branch publication, which can be found on the People Branch website, located at peoplebranch.org. That's peoplebranch.org. That's peoplebranch.org website, in which you will find a number of very interesting articles. My name is Mike Duchesne, MD for short. I hope you have a great afternoon or a great evening, whichever it happens to be. Hopefully you can join me again next time for another interesting episode of this podcast. That was the Fourth Branch, live from New York. Good day.